All right. Hey guys, so I decided to like make this recording again for every single person who is particularly finding it difficult on how to like actually go about how we trade and how we literally approach the markets, right? Now I want you all to understand something clearly that our approach is literally very easy. There's literally nothing complicated about it, and there's literally nothing hard about it. Now, this is literally the good chat as usual. And I will be starting up another kind of flip, right? Because I think not many people right here in this community actually want to like engage in flipping, right? They actually want to like go through flipping the conservative way. So I actually want to tell you guys that even if you decide to like play the conservative aspect of flipping, right, you can literally make close to should we say you can literally make almost 1K or literally if not 1K every single day, or let's say every single week just with 50 bucks, right? And it all boils down to like following the A setup, right? If you actually don't like go all in on that particular setup, you can literally make something very significant um with 50 bucks, right? So I literally don't need to have 1K in my account to actually make something nice. So if you're literally a beginner, like if you're actually new to flipping, right? I will actually show you how to like go about it right now, starting from how we approach the chart, right? So how we scaling it on our entries, our target and every single time. Now, this is practically code. Okay, so we'd love to make use of the previous chats which we actually have so far. Now, this is literally the good chat. Okay, and I would actually want to like make use of this particular setup that failed right here. Okay, this particular setup right here that failed, I would particularly want to make use of it. Okay, so we're literally going to be making use of this particular setup to actually map out what you're looking at. Now, I will be going directly to daily time frame where the setup was framed up. So I'm literally doing this because I actually want you to understand that you can literally frame this setup yourself. You can literally treat this setup yourself, and you can literally do whatever you want to do. Like there's practically no limitation to what you can do when you actually have the right knowledge there. Now, so far, we actually did break down this particular buy engulfing candle. Okay, we did break down this particular buy engulfing candle. This right here, and then we actually did take buys all the way to the upside, right? Before we actually looked at for shorts, but since this is a daily candle and this was a high, this was the high that propelled the retracement all the way to the downside. It suggests that our target is literally going to be at this particular high. So every single trade which you're taking is literally going to be here. Okay, this is where the target is going to be. But due to the fact you actually have price giving us a bearish engulfing candle, and then the fact price was literally at an all-time high, we actually have to consider this bearish engulfing candle. That's for sure. We are literally going to see a movement of it, right? And you are practically not wrong. I actually did break down the reason for this buy. Okay, and I say this, if you're looking to like play the aggressive side of flipping, right, where you actually want to take 50 USD to 1K, 2K with one setup, right, then you only need one A setup for the week. You really need one A setup so that you don't overtrade for the rest of the week, right? Because pretty much you can literally achieve any single thing you put your mind. With flipping, you actually don't need to overtrade, bro. Because once you've actually made something significant out of 50 USD, 30 USD, 20 USD, right? You get excited, bro. If you're new to it, you literally get so excited that you might actually want to like keep trying and trying. And then the more you lose, you're always going to be like, oh, I'm still risking the profit. And then you keep like trying and then it keeps going south and then you keep losing the money. Okay. But as I did tell some mentees right there, if you're looking to flip, you should only stick to max 2 setups in a week, and then once you achieve your target, but like you call it a wrap up. Okay, you wrap it up. There's literally no need trying to like trade the more and then keep forcing things in the markets. Okay. Now, turn up back to what I was saying. Now, this right here is particularly the presence of this right here. It's literally the presence of a bearish engulfing candle. And I want you to work with me on how we actually refine this bearish candle. Now, with what I actually did say way back, I did say earlier on that this particular the presence of an engulfing candle on the higher time frame is particularly a key level or particularly an SNR level on the lower time frame. So that is to say, if you actually have an engulfing candle on the 4-hour time frame, there's definitely going to be an SNR level. Now, a quick peek into what I'm talking about, we actually see the presence of well, this right here is practically an engulfing candle, okay? Now, scaling all the way to the lower time frame, scaling all the way to the lower time frame, which is going to be the 4-hour time frame. What did we actually see right there? Well, this is practically the presence of a blind spot. Okay, this right here is practically the presence of a blind spot. And as I did say, the presence of an SNL level, you actually do see the presence of an SNL level, which is practically a blind spot, right? And I actually talked about these patterns, they're all right there in the community. So we actually do see a blind spot right now. So if you literally want to like play up these levels, you agree with me that for sure we're literally going to play up cells, okay? Now, with that being said, back to the pattern we were actually talking about. All right, this is crazy. Particularly looking up at Microsoft. Now, I actually have this particular, now we actually do get the presence of what? A QML. This right here is a QML, okay? This right here is a QML, and I need to like take this line out. I want you to get confused. This right here is a QML, and remember, for our engulfing candle, 1 hour SNL, 1 hour SNL, 1 hour engulfing candle, 15 minutes SNL, right? Daily engulfing candle is practically a 4 hour SNL. Okay. Now I actually want to like break this particular setup down because it actually did go south. It ended as a break even, right? Now I actually want to show you guys pretty much what would have happened even with us being on the wrong side of the market. Now this was an engulfing candle on the daily, and then on the lower time frame, this is practically an SNL level. Now we actually want to refine further. We're scaling down to pretty much the 15 minutes or 30 minutes broken for a valid pattern to play off, right? Now, this is where the refining, this particular one is called the refining aspect of it, right? So if you scale down to the 15 minutes, right? We have literally gone all the way from this particular point, okay? We have literally gone all the way from this particular point to having just a 15 minutes to having a 15 minutes QML. Okay, so I literally have my QML coming in at this particular point. Okay, now whenever you've actually mapped out your QML level, you actually want to like map out this supply zone because this is a bearish setup. You actually want to have a supply zone above the QML. Okay, it shouldn't be directly at the QML level. Whenever you're making use of QML, it should literally not be at the same level of the QML. It should be above, right? Now, if you agree with me, you actually do see the impulsive push all the way to the downside. Okay, now I see a lot of people make use of this particular level. But like if you're making use of just 5 minutes, right? Although you actually have to wait for an exhaustion point criteria, but you're literally at the same time looking up to like having a bigger drawdown effect right there. Okay. Now you actually want a situation whereby you're literally having zero to no drawdown. That is, if you actually want to even play the aggressive part of it, you actually have zero to no drawdown. Okay. Now this right here, okay, is we have actually did have the key let's say that. Now I actually will scale all the way to the 5 minutes. Now the 5 minutes, right? I actually want to map out a valid supply zone. Okay. Now pretty much I'm literally completing every single thing. Now, before we actually did get an impulse to the downside, we actually want to see the last level of retracement or last retracement for price actually started pushing all the way to the downside. So this was the last level right here of retracement, and then price gave this impulse all the way to the downside. This is what you're literally interested in. Okay, this is literally what you're interested in. Now, as I did say, you actually don't want to make use of this. You actually want to look at for your Q or your supply zone above and not below. Okay, so our supply zone was literally at this particular bearish candle right here. Okay, the weak area. Now, pretty much going back to the setup point, we actually would look at for exhaustion points right now on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, because this is particularly for our setup. If it's particularly a 1 hour setup, we look at for exhaustion point on the 5 minutes time frame. Okay. Remember what we talked about in respect to exhaustion point. Now, I actually do have what's in price. You actually do see this particular zone all the way to the downside right here, being the presence of impulsive candles, right? And that is where we actually look to see price come clear off, right? Now, if you actually take a look into this, you actually have your first impulse, second impulse, and third impulse. And then here's what you actually want to see, an opposite reaction or price coming of this particular void. Should I say void? Or gap, okay? So this is the first point that prepared the retracement, okay? The prepared impulse, okay? First point of impulse, let's give a retracement. Then we actually have the three impulsive candles, 1, 2, 3, which should practically depict that we should get a potential reversal to the downside, okay? Now, with this coming in, you all were practically aware when I called this particular trade level right in the community, and this was the trade we're using, taking a 30 USD to 4,000 USD. We actually had entries at this point right here, and then entries right here, and then we actually did scale out around this particular point, right? Now, with that being said, we actually did kick into this particular level. Now, guess what? We actually did not get an engulfing candle straight up. Now, the next go after this, we actually have the three impulsive candles. We actually have the gaps to fill, okay? And then we actually have exhaustion points right here. This is particularly TDS shackling, so our exhaustion point is particularly present, okay? Now we actually want to see price give us an opposite reaction of this. Okay, the same impulse right here, we actually want to see price take it out. You can see that with the first rejection, price actually cleared out this first three impulse. We are looking to see price come all the way to the downside right here. Now, price actually presents an engulfing candle on the 15 minutes time frame, which is the next step you're looking at, right? And with price presenting this, do you actually want to scale in just straight up? Now, I said something earlier about people who actually don't want to flip, can literally scale in right here with the presence of an engulfing candle, but you should be ready to like have a bigger SL, right? Now, when we talk about a bigger stop loss, as I did say earlier on, you actually want to make use of just literally 50% of this candlestick, okay? To scale in. I made a video on that yesterday, and that was yesterday, also, right? So this is where the 50% of the candlestick falls in, okay? This is where the 50% of the candlestick falls in. So your entry literally is literally going to be, your entry is definitely going to be around, let me use this particular marker. Your entry is pretty much going to be around here, okay? And then your stop loss should literally go above the high, as I did say, okay? So if you're particularly looking into scaling with the engulfing candle, you will see that your entry was literally at the same point with the 30 pips. That is it. It's easy, bro. You got all right. These are specific rules you actually have to follow, and they are practically not complicated. Okay, so now this is for those of you who actually don't want to play the should I say full margin aspect, possibly you're trading prop firms, you get me right, you should actually make use of 50%. Now, when it comes to us who actually want to flip our accounts or who actually want to make something out of a little baby account, right? Now, I actually have this 15 minutes engulfing candle. Now, if you scale all the way to the 1 minute time frame, bro, you're literally going to get confused on which particular QML you actually want to make use of. or 1 minute SNR level. Hopefully, we actually get this going as far as we want. So, all right, luckily. Now, this is literally for the 1 minute time frame. Now, in a scenario like this, okay, you actually have a QML right here. You actually have a blind spot right here. Now, for a minute, right? How do you actually navigate through this? How do you actually get the right zone to play of? Now, that is the question, right? And I did say something right in the previous video in the community right there. I said, for your extra confirmations, right, you scale to the 15 minutes to look for an engulfing candle of if you literally want to flip, right? And then when it's present, you scale to the 5 minutes. The 5 minutes is definitely going to present an engulfing candle for you, to you, right? And that is where your SNL level is. That is where you actually want to play it. Because remember, you look at the 15 minutes, there's literally the presence of an SNL level. You scale all the way to the 5 minutes, there's an engulfing candle there. You scale to the 1 minute, bro. That is where you're going to get your level. Sorry, your SNL level. Now, that should align with a 5 minutes engulfing candle. So if I scale to the 5 minutes time frame, pretty much, I guess you will understand that we actually did play off a QML, an engulfing candle, my bad. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is where we actually did play. Oh, this is where we price actually did play off. We did not play off this level. There's practically no engulfing candle right there. This is where we actually played up. Okay. Now, how do we capitalize on this trade? How do we scale in? Now, I'm literally scale it all the way to the 1 minute time frame. Oh, I think that's not that. Okay. No, so this right here. Now, with the presence of price coming into this particular zone, I talked about the 1 minute candlestick closure, right? Now, with price coming in at this particular point, do you actually just want to like place limit orders right here? Now, we don't actually work with limit orders. We don't work with direct execution if price comes to us, all right? It's all about confirmations and precision, right? Now, what is that particular thing you actually look at for in price that is like suggesting that price is willing to push all the way to the downside? Which is practically what I'm going to talk about right now. And it's very crucial when you actually want to take your entrance, right? Now, the goal right here is to maximize the trend and at the same time minimize your losses, right? So in this particular case, we actually have the 1 minute closure. Okay, so this price goes through all of this. Okay, now we can't call this a QMO because it has already been played off by price. Now, I actually do have the presence of a bearish candle closure right here. Okay, so the first bearish candlestick closure is where my entry is literally going to be at. Now you can see from this particular point of entry all the way to the side, this is practically 15 pips. This is 15 pips, right? Now this right here is 0.7 pips, right? Now, ideally, is very ideal to make use of 10 pips stop. So I did say all my SL are literally within the range of 10 pips to um 10 pips to 15 pips max. Okay. Now this right here is where my entry is particularly at. If I actually have a 10 pip stop and then I'm having a 50 USD account, what do you think is literally going to be the recommended lot size? Let's say, okay, it's a new week, and I'm looking to like start up with a 50 to 1K for the week, right? Now, what do you literally think is going to be my recommended lot size right here? Now, remember, if I'm to scaling on a 0.50, if price goes against me 10 pips, I've literally lost the account, right? But now, if price is to go in my favor, 500, I said 500 pips. If price is to go in my favor, just 100 pips, I'm literally up 500 USD, right? Perfect. Uh, am I correct? Yes, sir. Now, take a look at this. Take a slip into this. Now, this is particularly for 80 pips, and then we actually did see the point of where we actually did break even was around here. Now, price actually did go 90 pips, right? Now, I want you to get something. Now, with practically a 0.40, right? So giving my equity a little time to breathe, right? And I'm not saying I'm in on 0.30 on a $50 account. Now remember, if price goes against the practically losing 30 USD, and if it goes in my favor, 0.30 pretty much on just 100 pips is going to give you 300 USD. It's literally going to give you 300 USD to play on. Now, your first now, if you actually have 0.30 right, and the target initially was 150 pips, right? I like going for 200 pips on my own side. So this is it. 200 pips is literally all the way to this point, right? Now, 200 pips, and then on a 0.30, you actually have 600 USD of a 50 USD. That's it. No re-entry, no stacking, just calculated risk on this. Okay, so if I actually have 600 USD, bro, like of 50 bucks, I pretty much just have just 400 USD for the week to make it up. Okay. Now, this was literally on Tuesday. This was on Monday. Now, check this out. This was practically where the entry was at this particular point. 200 USD smashed, 200 pips smashed. That is practically 60 US, 600 USD. And pretty much you actually do have 10 pips price goes this. So if I actually succeed on the first flip, which is the main target, that is literally the first aspect of the game, right? It's more like a rinse and repeat. If I actually succeed in the first one, what do you think my loss size is going to be for the second setup, which is going to come? I can literally decide to skip to still stick to 0.30 on my setup, bro. If you actually have in that setup 0.30 and then price moves 150 pips, that's pretty much 450 USD of a $50 account, and you've practically banked over 1,000 USD. I'm not saying this because I actually want to like make it look like it's all perfect in hindsight because you actually did take a break even on this trade, right? And it was more like a scratch out. I'm saying this because even with the fact that this setup did not pan out, you could literally see that we actually did have time to breathe or go break even on this particular trade, right? That is how easy it is. That is how it should be, bro. Like, there's nothing literally difficult if you actually have it follow the rules in this particular system. Okay, I'm not saying you're always going to have wins or wins or wins, bro. Like, all you need is just for the first flip to pan out well. That is the first entry of the week to pan out well, and then you're good to go, bro. Like, now let's take a look at something else. Now, price is literally expanding all the way in my favor, and I decide to like add up a 0.20, protecting my first position, right? I decide to like go and break even and add a 0.20. Now, price goes in my favor 180 pips from the second entry, right? Now, on the 0.20 times, you're looking at 180 pips. It's going to give me 360 USD. So with the fact that there's always going to be an impulsive movement away from your entry, 0.30 right here, 0.20, 0.30 right here, 0.20 along this line. Bro, price goes 100 pips in your favor. You're practically having 300 and let me check it out. This is literally for those of you who don't want to start, right? Because I'm actually trying to make you all understand that this is literally not hard at all. Okay? This is literally not hard at all. All you actually need is to accept the risks of, and I'm quite sure every single person out here or in this community, right, actually has a specific amount of the risk in the markets of their personal accounts, right? Or in the problem. So if you're actually trading a personal account of over 3,000 USD, I'm quite sure you might be risking 50 bucks, 100 bucks, right? Now, what do you think is the difference between risking 50 bucks and someone who's particularly loading up his account with 50 bucks to just leverage on it, bro? It's just the risk acceptance, bro. Like, it's just the risk difference. That is literally what it is. So, with this being said, I hope you all are ready for the week. And I'm pretty much going to like take it to 20 USD to I can't remember, I think 2K or 4K or 5K, right? And still with the same thing, I'm literally going to replicate it using the same exact method I did say, put out there. You can grow as fast as possible. This was a trade which we did take last week Friday, 10 pips up on my own side, Okay, this was 16 pip stop, and then boom, it found out pretty well. This right here was 15 pip stop. This right here was 15 pip stop. I'm literally showing you all this. This right here, you'll remember this particular trade, you'll remember this particular trade, you'll remember this particular trade, you'll remember this particular trade. So I'm not literally giving out something that doesn't work or something I've not used in time, bro. Like, this is practically what I use, and it's literally easy, bro. Now, for those of you who are practically complaining about having no capital, I can still start up with a 10 USD, and I'm literally going to replicate this same shit over and over again. I can literally start up with a 10 USD and then have a 0.10 and then possibly scaling again. And possibly if price goes in my favor, bro, like everything is literally on that probability. If prices to go in my favor, bro, I'm literally going to have myself over 400 USD off a 10 bucks. Or let's say 300 USD plus off a 10 bucks. That is how crazy it is, bro. So there's practically no limitation to what you can do when you actually have a precision in price or when you actually have precise entries, bro. That is it, guys. So it's literally easy. See you all on the next slide, and I hope you all are ready for it.